Hey, it's Christine Grace. Welcome back to my channel. Today is another reaction video. Like the video on your way in, let's get straight into it. So I'm going to be reacting to a sequel from a prior reaction that I did of Shoe on Head's Men Deserve to Be Lonely video. And apparently she got some backlash over it. So yeah, we're going to see her response to that backlash and see what all the backlash is about.
If you guys are unaware, my last video was the one I've been working on for a while called the Male Loneliness Epidemic. If you haven't watched that video, please go watch it first before you watch this one, so this all makes a lot more sense, and then come back to this one. Link in the description. Now, although there was a lot of support for this video, there was also a lot of hate. A lot of hate. In fact, the most hate that I've probably ever received on a video ever, and if you're familiar with the content I make on this channel, that should be shocking. From angry femcels calling me ugly to angry incels saying I'm a grifter who only wants to make money or something. Ridiculous. Men are lacking purpose, and a man will crawl through broken glass for a purpose.
And there's a lot of truth to what she's saying there and in the whole video, which is worth watching. That video has 1.5 million views in just the last week.
Thanks, Matt Walsh. You're my greatest ally. My male loneliness video was the fastest growing video on my channel to date, and there is a reason for that. It resonated with a lot of people. I got hundreds and hundreds of comments every single day by men venting in my comments section, feeling like for once they were being heard and that they were in a place where they could talk. It was simultaneously the most heartwarming and heartbreaking thing I've ever seen. And this discussion blew up so much that it eventually reached TikTok.
So apparently there's a male loneliness epidemic right now.
Aww. Is this the consequences of your own actions?
Men get recognized for the useless things that they are in society. And what do men do?
Oh my.
He says, laying in bed? Yeah. Men are the useless ones.
My God, I'm lonely.
Is there a male loneliness epidemic right now, or are more and more women just progressively realizing that there's a lot better things to do in life than be stuck with a toxic, insecure man?
I don't think we're in the middle of a male loneliness epidemic. We're in the middle of a mass female awakening.
Yeah, you look so awakened.
You're just reaping the consequences of your terrible upbringing, your own actions.
Some men are lonely because y'all are fucking creeps.
Y'all deserve to be lonely, every single one of them. This is their fault. Fuck them.
Men's loneliness epidemic that's going on. That sounds like it really sucked. Just wondering if they've considered smiling more.
Wow, that's a really funny joke. I've never heard that before.
Have the men just tried smiling a little bit more?
You know, I'd recommend smiling more.
Have they tried smiling more?
Have you thought about smiling more?
Maybe they should smile more.
Maybe they should try to smile more.
Have they tried smiling more?
That's awful. Have they tried smiling?
Is this why people think women aren't funny? Bleak. Now, TikTok isn't the only place where this insanity happened. The thumbnail of my video went viral on Twitter, which led to some of the most funniest and unhinged reactions. So we are going to go through some of these and talk about them, as well as some of the angry comments I got from the Manosphere. Let's jump into it. Male loneliness is not real and not valid. Men are lonely because they are terrible people. Why the f should anyone have empathy for men? Men were born bad. Men are subhuman, and their loneliness can't be cured because they can't relate to actual human beings. Most men are born useless, and are meant to die alone.
Lovely.
Nah, male suicide rate needs to be higher, actually.
Can you? Oh my gosh.
These men are 100% the most misogynistic demons on the planet and deserve every bit of loneliness they feel. LOL.
LOL.
You don't understand the pleasure it gives me to see these men crying and depressed. Imagine losing in the world that is literally built for you. This is an insane—
The idea that the world was built for men is absolutely ridiculous. The world was built by men, but it's very clearly built for women. Women are the ones that reap the rewards of the world that has been built.
insane question to ask considering how society continues to fail women and girls at every turn. Crazy how men's well-being is considered a communal responsibility, but women's well-being isn't even considered. Oh, how delightful! A tweet from Earth 2! I'm so tired of the idea that we must have infinite empathy for men's loneliness while women are sexualized from fucking birth. We are assaulted, harassed, raped, and killed for something we didn't choose to be. But boo-hoo, the poor men and their inability to make friends. You know we can talk about multiple things at the same time, right? Also, it's deranged to say that society doesn't care about women's sexual assault. We have domestic violence shelters that we can go to. Men don't. Men being assaulted by women, men being raped is all played off as a joke.
Facts.
When a little boy is molested by an older woman, it's seen as cool and hot. Society is fucked up all around. It's not a competition. It is not a zero-sum game. My video can exist alongside your advocacy for women's rights. As long as you're not saying dumb fucking shit, I will stay out of your way. I don't give a fuck about male loneliness. Like, bro, if you can't meet a girl, just dial up the queer homie and hook up like a normal person. God.
So that's where it comes from. It comes from people who can't get with the opposite sex. So the only way they can get some is by getting with the same sex. Got it.
If men are lonely on an epidemic scale, why don't they just cuddle and make out with each other?
What? This is the real epidemic going on. Fat, ugly people who can't get anyone, so they think, I'll just get with another fat, ugly person who can't get anyone.
Why don't they just befriend and date each other? Problem solved. I love this advice. Just be gay. Honestly. Simply become gay. Are you a lonely man? Are you a fucking loser? Consider sucking dick. Tell me why I, as a queer woman, should take time out of my day to care about men and their issues. Quickly. I'm not disabled. Why should I care about disabled people? Why talk about unions or workers' rights when I'm self-employed? If I only cared about causes that only affected me, I wouldn't even have a YouTube channel. I mean, yes, you don't have to care. You don't have to care about everything. But it doesn't affect me, so why should I care is just a terrible reason not to care. There's no such thing as misandry, just women who have had bad experiences with men and have woken up.
Imagine if it was the other way around. There's no such thing as misogyny. It's just dudes who've had bad experiences.
There's no such thing as racism. Just white people who have had bad experiences with black people. That's you. That's what you sound like. Can't stand this sort of pathetic pity party. We live in a time of abject plenty compared to any other time in history. Yeah, stop being depressed. You have a bunch of cheap plastic shit from China. Line goes up, world more gooder. Male loneliness epidemic, and it's just them not being able to get laid. Like, we really don't give a fuck. I love how this is always the go-to when it comes to this conversation. Oh no, the men aren't getting laid. But if you, like, actually talk to some of these guys, like, even if you talk to some of these incels, the ones who, like, don't hate women, they're gonna tell you that it's not really about sex. It's about companionship. It's about friendship. It's about having a girlfriend, a wife, a family. And a lot of these people were like, well, you know, that's why we should just legalize sex work. And honestly, I don't think that's a solution. Maybe it's like a temporary one, but it's kind of like putting a band-aid on a broken leg. I don't think paying for meaningless sex with a stranger is going to solve the problem. In fact, it might make it worse over time. Instead of male loneliness epidemic, call it a cis-male unfuckability crisis. It's just like what I said in the video. They have to add cis now because they don't want to insult trans men. Men suck! I hate them! Oh, not you! You're not a man. Yikes! Bruh, when they stop killing women, I'll stop generalizing them. Maybe I'll start worrying about their loneliness when they stop unaliving and raping children and women. Yeah, lonely guys, stop raping children, and maybe you won't be so lonely. What's all this hubbub about male loneliness? Y'all are acting like you're oppressed when I've opened myself up to friendships and relationships with you just to get told I have sucking eyes. That is hyper specific. Not everyone is your ex-boyfriend. All of men's problems are created by themselves. How is it women's responsibility to fix them? Seriously, why is it always women's job to fix everything? Any chance to blame other women she seems to always take. LMAO, you are the problem. It's you carrying water for the patriarchy and blaming women for men feeling lonely and radicalized. I find it repulsive anytime I see a woman like her do shit like this. It makes me actively turn violently against things that even I would originally think are nuanced topics. And also, yes, men are lonely. No, it's not up to women to fix that. Fuck off, Nazi bitch. Things I blamed in the video. Technology, social media, dating apps and the commodification of love. The media, low wages, the housing crisis, social alienation, lack of community, the left not speaking to men, the feeling of having no purpose. Things I didn't blame. Women! Now this might—
I will. All of that is true, but I will also blame women. Women have a part to play. Just as men have a part to play in women not trusting men.
come as a shock to you, but not everything has to do with women. Sometimes we can talk about other things. Sometimes those other things are not women. My video was about society as a whole, and yes, that includes women. I never said it was women's responsibility. I think I mentioned women like once, and it was to say that women are also lonely, but that the media and society treats women's loneliness much differently than it treats men's loneliness. And yet, thousands of tweets and comments about how I was apparently blaming women, and how it's not women's fault. It's to the point where I'm like, is this projection? Do you think it is your fault? But again, my video was not about you. My video was about men. And if you want to listen to a video about women and women's problems, like I said in the original video, tune into literally anything else. Go to any college campus, turn on any TV show, watch a CIA ad. She's so embarrassing, made an entire career out of being a pick-me. You didn't watch the video. And I'm not going to. Well, I didn't watch the video because I'd rather shoot myself than sit through a shoe video. Can someone take one for the team and watch this vid to get an answer? I'm sorry, but it was a 20-minute long video. I have ADHD, and I know some of y'all do too, but I know you motherfuckers are watching 5-hour YouTube documentaries about shit like iCarly. I know you can take time out of your busy schedule from being the most miserable people on earth and watch a 20-minute long video. Here, does this help? Are you paying attention now? She doesn't need to say it's women's fault for us to know exactly what she means. This is like bordering on schizophrenia. Yeah, she didn't say it, but we all know she did. This is why I advocate for mental health care to be free. We need to get these some therapy. Male loneliness.
No, I don't advocate for mental health care to be free because they will just use it as an echo chamber.
This male loneliness that. Do you know how isolating it feels to almost never be able to develop genuine friendships with men because they see you as nothing more than an object for sexual conquest?
I wonder why that is. Just have a little look at the profile picture.
I'm gonna tell you something not many people probably have told you in your life. It's not about you. I get that the friend zone is a very frustrating thing to deal with. Trust me, I know. Nothing worse than enjoying being friends with a guy, but not having a romantic attraction and having to cut him off because you don't want to lead him on or hurt him. It sucks being girlfriend zoned. But coming into this conversation, basically like, woe is me, so many people want to fuck me, is a little insane. Like, maybe if this discourse was about the friend zone, this would make sense. But this is like barging into a conversation full of starving people and being like, I ate too much chicken tendies, you guys, my tummy hurts. Like, get out of here. Women got sick of men creating a society where women were second-class citizens, so now men are facing—
I don't understand how you can think that men are the second-class citizens in a world where the men had to go out to work, the men had to go to war, the men had to do all of the hard things, and all you had to do was wash some dishes. Do you not see how that is a privileged position? We have all of these women on TikTok crying about how they have to work a 9-to-5 and how the economy is so hard and the cost of living is going up and oh, it's so hard to work. At the same time, it's like, you wanted this. You saw the fact that men were doing all the hard work and you said, I want to do that. I want to do that. That's where my sense of purpose is coming from. Wait a minute. I don't have to do the difficult things in society? Damn oppression.
Loneliness. Yeah, this is payback to you for not letting women vote decades ago. You personally.
Men failed themselves. They built a whole system for their benefit, and in the moment it starts to crumble because the oppressed class they've always subjected, women, is waking up. They start to put the blame on us. Cowards and dangerous misogynists.
So first of all, nobody's putting the blame on you. Nobody did that. I didn't do that. You made that up in your heads. And second of all, this system wasn't created for the average man. It was created for the rich and powerful. It benefits the rich and powerful.
Yeah, it was made for the rich and powerful, and that's why women were allowed into the workforce in the first place. That's why they gave women the right to vote, because if you could bring women down to the level of men, you could stop women being these untaxable creatures that got to sit at home and not have to work. You bring women down to the level of men, you can tax the crap out of them too. And then you've got an even bigger economy, because now you've got twice the amount of people in that economy. And who's looking after the kids now that all the mothers are in work? The system. And you can create schools in such a way that indoctrinates more slaves, workers, to buy into and work for your system. Yeah, it's made for the rich and powerful, and the rich and powerful are going to find any means to make money. So if a few small, loud women are saying, we want to work, we want to be just like men, the higher ups who've got all this money and always want more money are going to think, hang on a minute. More money!
They have their boots on our necks, and the handmaidens are like, oh no, they look kind of sad.
I'm sorry, who has their boot on your neck? All men? You know who has their boot on your neck? These satanic pedophiles in charge of our government. These soulless demonic corporations that would throw your mother into a wood chipper if it made them make an extra penny. That's who has the boot on your neck. Not Joe Schmo working 2 jobs so he doesn't get evicted.
Here's some male loneliness discourse for you. Do you ever at all, even for a second, consider the problem is you? That maybe, just maybe, the reason you're lonely is that you are an awful human being, truly just awful, and that it's right that you are lonely? It's fair.
I mean, yeah, they probably do consider that. The suicide rate doesn't lie.
Maybe if some men weren't bigots. The solution to male loneliness is literally just being a better person.
I love that the implication here is that lonely people are bad.
Do you know what's so funny is that the men who they are projecting about and saying, you deserve this, you deserve that, is the dudes that slept with them and didn't call them back. It's the dudes that they want that don't want them, because they're hurt by that and they're saying, yeah, men deserve to be lonely, men are trash, men deserve this because one dude has hurt them. What's so ironic and quite funny about all of this is that the dudes they're referring to, that they are like, yeah, you should be lonely, are not the lonely dudes. Those dudes aren't lonely. What's so crazy about all of this is that the men that is the topic of this video, these women don't even have a clue that they exist. They don't have a clue. They've never even spoke to one. They've never even seen one because they're invisible to them. And I guarantee you, if they did, they would feel sorry for them. 9 times out of 10, like I'm telling you, they would feel sorry for them. But they don't speak to them. They don't talk to them. And it's all a projection. The guys that they're saying, yeah, men deserve to be lonely, you guys are awful, are not the men that are actually lonely. I just want to put that out there.
Bad people. Every lonely man is just a bigot and a racist and an Andrew Tate fan. I guess it makes it easier for them to like not care about this if they paint these people as the enemy. If you dehumanize the enemy, it makes it easier to sleep at night.
Yeah, that's true too, but I just think that they're projecting the guy who hurt them onto the male loneliness epidemic, and they're not realizing that this is not those dudes.
Suppose. Now, I started noticing a reoccurring pattern with a lot of these accounts. A lot of these accounts getting mad about or like dismissing the male loneliness discourse. Many of them have OnlyFans. This is relevant because like out of everyone on earth, why would
of course they still want them to be lonely because they're buying their own
those
fans.
People be so mad about someone wanting to solve or at least bring attention to the male loneliness epidemic. This is like a crack dealer getting mad at people talking about crack addiction. This is your opinion, and this is where it belongs. Have a good day. I could say that, okay? I'm a YouTuber. That's far more degrading than being an OnlyFans model. Her face looks like she's pandering to
Oh my gosh.
That makeup style is so catered to pedos. They're actively trying to make themselves look like kids. Ah yes, children. Notorious for wearing big fake eyelashes and 10 pounds of eyeliner. What? Can't stand this bitch and her side part. Bitches with this makeup style piss me the fuck off. They always wear that type of makeup. Looking at her makeup, I already know the type of person she is. You can just tell by her makeup. Not to be rude, but that makeup tells everything I need to know. Her makeup says everything I need to know. This is literal NPC behavior. Not watching the video, blindly spewing the exact same insults, just I have no argument and I must scream. They don't even know why they're mad. They just saw a woman in the thumbnail of a video about men and their brains just broke. Her makeup doesn't look like ours. Her hair is styled differently than ours. Should I be like extra cute in this thumbnail? Would that piss them off?
I'm not like other girls.
Why do we hate her again? Guys, why do we hate this person again? Can't form my own opinion, help. Why do we hate her? Why do all incel adjacent women look like this? When you're a woman talking about men's issues online and they can't outright call you an incel, they just call you incel adjacent, I guess. And when they're not calling you incel adjacent, they're breaking out all reliable pick me behavior. Pick me girls are so CEO of Pick Me, high priestess of Pick Me Church. So I am the CEO of Pick Me and the high priestess. Maybe this video will boost me to Pick Me goddess. Watch out, Pearl. I'm coming for your title. Now I've already
Oh my gosh.
talked about the Pick Me insult in other videos, but it's just so lazy, man. I'm so tired of it. I've been hearing it for over a decade now. And yes, there are people who absolutely do fit the definition of a pick-me from both genders. Men who talk about how much they hate men, women who talk about how much they hate women. But I don't hate women. My mom is a woman. My sister is a woman. My friends are women. I am a woman. I can't
I am a woman.
be women-phobic. I have women friends. But the insult is just so beyond overused nowadays. Every woman who doesn't toe the current line is a pick-me. It's just a way to socially ostracize other women, to make you fall in line and agree with their opinions. But it's not gonna work here, because I am socially retarded and borderline autistic. So you have no power here. You can't tell me what to believe. You can't change my opinions. You're not my boyfriend. I hope this bitch fails to wake up in the morning. Her terrorism still hasn't stopped. Oh my god. She's still relevant? She should have went down with her anti-feminism shtick a few years ago. I thought she would have fell off by now. If you want to know how I didn't fall off, if you want to know how I'm still relevant after 10 years, look in a mirror. You stop being cringe, I stop being relevant. Deal? Fun fact, she reached out to incel accounts for help with this video. No, I'm not kidding. Well, yeah, it's good to go to the source and talk to the people who have experience with the subject I'm talking about. I'm not lonely and I'm not a man, despite what the mainstream media may say. I do not, in fact, have a penis. Do not put in the paper that I have a penis.
We scour the internet for weird video to show you, and the other day we came across this, the weirdest we've seen in a while.
The problem is Shu just affirms them instead of converting them. Converting them to what? This is exactly the thing I talked about in my video. These people don't want to actually help men. They just want to recruit them into their little political tribe. Would it be cool if everyone agreed with me politically? I was gonna say yes, but honestly, that would be a little horrifying. That would be a very scary world. My goal wasn't to convert men to agree with me politically. My goal was just to bring attention to this issue and put a spotlight on it. It is cool when people tell me, oh, like, you've changed my mind on this, you've changed my mind on that. I love that. I love to see that. I was unaware that was my job. My job is to get on YouTube and say poo poo pee pee, and everyone go ha 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 and give me money. But in this case, it was for me to go, hey, the men are not okay, and for people to go, damn, that sucks, and give me money. PragerU is sharing Shu1Head's video now. Explain to me how she's still a leftist. I personally think it's a good thing when people agree on good things. There should be more people agreeing on good things, quite frankly. I feel like a lot of good things would be done in this country if more people agreed on good things. And I don't know, I think it's pretty neat that this might be the first and last time a video that talks about alienation under capitalism and says the term material conditions will be shown to a massive right-wing audience like PragerU. But hey, don't worry your little heart, this will never happen to a left-wing YouTuber you watch. The internet feminists weren't the only ones booty blasted about my video. I also rustled the jimmies of some in the Manosphere. You just want more OnlyFans subscribers. You don't care about male loneliness. She's actually a man dressed as a woman. That's why she or he is there speaking.
They think she's Blair White, don't they?
Speaking about men's issues. Fellas, protect your sanity, your seed, and your wallet in these current times. These women are shapeshifters. This chick is gonna hit the wall in 10 years. That's why she cares about male loneliness. She sees many cats in her future. They want us back on the plantation, gentlemen. Hold the line! I don't really understand what the conspiracy here in general is, though. Like I'm just talking about a subject I found important and interesting, like I've been doing on this channel. And these guys are like, stay strong, brothers, don't give in to temptation. Why are we listening to women about male loneliness? Plenty of male figures discussing this. Honestly, I'm gonna say it, SJW behavior, liberal.
So I feel like two ways about that comment, because on the one hand, I think men speaking to men about the male loneliness issue is needed. And I do think that men should go to other men on this topic, because women, we can't understand. And we can't speak to men in a way that's actually beneficial and useful, in my opinion. However, I think the reason that it is important that there are women out there who speak about men's issues is because there is a slim chance that other women will listen. You have to think about it like this. The women who are currently in feminism and they are currently in that mindset and they are part of the sisterhood, right? That's why they get annoyed at girls like Shu, like Pearl, like myself, who don't follow their narrative. Because I'm sure you guys have seen that Homath video where he talks about how women's status revolves around kind of keeping the sisterhood together and getting each other's approval. So you got to think, this is women's nature. And then you have feminism on top of that, which is like complete hive mindset. If anything steers out of that norm, they're going to attack it. That's where the whole like pick me thing is. It's ostracization. It's you are not with us. You can't sit with us. It's that whole mean girl type thing. The reason that it is important that it's women talking to them is because these feminist girls have the idea of the patriarchy in their head. So anything a guy says, it's going to be, well, you just think that because you're a guy. They have this idea that men are the ones benefited in society. So anything a guy says, it's just going to be like, well, you benefit from it. So of course you're going to think that. Whereas if you're a girl, you have the leverage of being able to connect to them on another level, because they can't throw that back in your face. They can't say, well, you benefit, because you can throw their own logic back at them and say, well, no, I'm a girl just like you. So if I'm a girl just like you, but yet I think something different, is it possible that we could learn something from each other here, learn something about each other's experiences? While saying this, I'm very much aware that the majority of you guys watching are dudes. However, I started this from my first ever video on YouTube ever. You can check it out. It's over on the Debunking the Lunacy playlist. I spoke about the issue of promiscuity, and I spoke about issues among women. I see feminism as a women's issue. I see it as a problem for women. I see it as a toxic mindset that is poisoning women's brains. I see contraception as a women's issue. The reason I talk about men's issues is because I see it as a huge divide between the sexes, and stats show this. People aren't reproducing, people aren't having relationships anymore. As a woman, all I can really do is help from the women's side, right? I can work on myself to be a better woman in society, and I can try my best to encourage women to be a better women in society. Men need to do the same. And there are many male content creators that men can go to get advice about that. I'm not a man. I don't understand what it's like to be a man and to be on the path of self-improvement as a man. I do know what it's like to be on the path of self-improvement as a woman, which requires a lot of reflection. And with both the sexes, reflection requires confrontation with the shadow, which means confronting the parts of you that might not be beneficial to yourself or society and are probably quite ugly and shameful. That includes the feminist mindset. I don't believe that being a boss babe is actually what's best for women. Do I believe that going on OnlyFans can make you a shit ton of money? Of course. Do I believe that's genuinely in your best interests? No, I don't. So whilst I'm aware that the majority of people watching are men, there is a small percentage of women. And I have to keep going because the only way for that percentage to possibly grow is to keep going. And by men sharing things around, you know, it might cross a woman's path. And yes, I know most of them are just going to fob it off, call me a pick-me, whatever. But I went to school. I was raised in England. I was raised without faith. Of course, at one point I thought, I'm going to be just like a man. There's no difference between men and women. Maybe not quite as full-blown as to say I ever called myself a feminist, but, you know, I definitely probably went a little bit left-leaning as I went into college, as I've spoke about in previous videos. There's always something to learn, and we can always learn from other people's experiences. On this channel, I look at men's experiences, and I look at what I can do to help that, not just as an individual, but as a woman. And I identify the problems that I see have been created by women. Just as Shu says, you can look at literally anywhere else in the world, any other channel, any other TV channel, any other radio station, and they will tell you about the problems that men have created for women. I'm just trying to even out the ball game here, because there are problems that women have created for men. And women need to fix them in the same way that there are problems men have created for women, and it is men's job to fix them. But we need to have some balance, and that's all what I'm about. Just providing the balance and the nuance. And if you don't like it,
behave.
As Shu says, go literally anywhere else.
Woman behavior. To imply that I shouldn't speak or be listened to about a subject because I'm not the correct gender. Anyone can talk about anything they want. That's free speech, bit. You don't have to listen. You can make your own video talking about the subject, Mr. Man, but you know they're just gonna call you sexist and misogynist, so you might as well just use me as a human shield. It's not that she's a woman or cares. She's the kind of person who will only talk about an issue because it's popular. Women suddenly want to help men.
That's me! Oh my gosh. Maybe I should do a reaction to this. That's so funny. Maybe I should do a reaction to that.
But only because it benefits them and their causes.
Well, now not only are conservative women talking about it, but also the left. This is the problem with the women that decide to come forward and speak about men's issues. They don't care about men's issues. You must ask the question. Now that they're coming around and talking about men's issues, is it to help men or to win men into their cause?
Oh my
So first of all, let me just clear something up, because some of you seem a bit confused. I started talking about these subjects 10 years ago, way back before it was popular to do so. Back when
I mean, I can't say that. I was 14.
I was doxxed, harassed, had angry feminists calling my job and trying to get me fired over mocking pop feminism and talking about men's issues. And a lot of these people coming at me now, telling me I'm jumping on a bandwagon, started like 2 or 3 years ago, when it was safe to do so. So with all due respect, sir,
stay out of my territory.
But in full seriousness, it is good when more people talk about this subject. I'm glad you talk.
It's good when more people talk about anything. I mean, like, the Me Too movement did catch predators such as Harvey Weinstein and... Is it Harvey Weinstein? Is that his name? Doesn't matter. Okay, there are issues that happen, and the more people that talk about it, then it's a good thing, right? Because you catch the bad guys. The problem is that when it goes too far, and then there's people who are trying to correctly hop on a bandwagon because there is money to be made. But that's like anything. It's not specific to men's issues. It is like anything. And people do need to talk about men's issues because it is a problem. And the reason it is a problem is not just because it affects men. The idea that men's issues only affects men is preposterous. Men's issues in terms of male loneliness is a problem that's going on with our men. But we have to take a step back and look at it from a bird's eye view and realize it's a species problem. Because if one sex is affected, just literally just read the stats. Like, I'm not trying to get all doomsday here, but there aren't going to be any people left. There aren't going to be any people left. People not only are miserable today, but they're not making people for tomorrow. That is a big problem. That is a big problem, no matter where you stand on the political spectrum. That is a big problem. And even the people in power know it's a problem because they're going to have less money, obviously, if there's less people working. But even for us, like, I like people. I like my family. I like my friends. I like people, even people I don't know. I like being able to walk outside and say hello to someone on a morning walk. I like people. I don't want less people, you know? So it's like you can look at the core issue, which is male loneliness. There is a male loneliness epidemic. But it is also true that it is a broader societal issue. We need to focus on the core first. We need to, you know, treat the immediate wound. And from that, the healing can expand to the broader societal level. But you have to treat these things with care, just as if it was a woman's issue. You have to, you know, like with the Me Too thing, the actual victims, not the people who've like exploded the thing into space, but like you have to treat sensitive topics with care because like any epidemic, there is individuals, you know, you can look at it epidemic scale and say, you know, there's this group that's being affected and all of the concerns from that, which is all relevant and true. But you have to start by giving the people who need it the medicine, the treatment, whatever. Like in an epidemic, there are individuals who are suffering.
Talk about this. I'm glad there are people like the honey badgers who have been talking about this stuff for a very
Badgers are very, very cool. I spoke to them when I was at the Audacity Network.
long time. This girl is a fake who wants every man to be a castrated beta male feminist commie like her boyfriend probably is. She takes advantage of men like this. Do not listen to her. Lefty women want to help men become good feminists who devote their lives to helping women have all the power so they can make men their servants. Basically, we need to help men destroy men. That's the only way men should be helped. We women said so. Shoe on head. Real quote, never trust a woman, even if they're saying the truth. It's so weird how, like, they need to convince themselves that even when a woman is showing empathy and, like, caring about this subject, that she's just, like, a lying snake in the grass. Literally just a mirror universe of these fucking femcells. It's mommy and daddy issues all the way down. Ladies, be a good mom to your sons. Fellas, be a good dad to your daughters. Try to prevent creating the most insufferable, annoying people on earth, please. I don't know if it's because I grew up with a good relationship with both of my parents or what, but this gender war shit is just so toxic, man. Men and women need each other, you know, we're yin and yang, and the yin and yang is being torn apart by miserable people who want to make you miserable as well. One of the most valid criticisms I got about this video was that I didn't offer any solutions. And honestly, that's because I don't have any. I wanted to talk about the problem, but I don't know how to solve it. A lot of YouTubers and streamers and talking heads will get up on their platform and like pretend they know the answers to everything. But the truth is, I don't. I just think that it's a step in the right direction to be like, hey men, you're struggling, but you're not a bad person. You matter. And if I could...
I really like that. I think that's very, very honest. And I'm the same. Like, I don't know what the answer is. I can offer my own personal suggestions on what I think might be something to try next. But I don't know. I just know it's an issue. And the only way we're going to come to a solution is together. So people need to talk about it.
I could snap my fingers and cure this. I absolutely would. But at the end of the day, men are men. And man problems require man solutions. And that solution, of course, is giving me money. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'm reading the comments on that video all the time, and I will read the comments on this video as well. If you see some people talking about their experiences and venting about their issues and their problems in the comments, reply to them, support them, join in on the discourse. The Shoe on Head community is a very diverse community. Not like race-wise, I'm pretty sure you're all fucking white, but like politically diverse. But we can all come together to talk about the issues that matter, and I think that's really cool. I
think that's very cool too. I thought this is a very cool video, and I love the fact that she did a follow-up to the initial one. But yeah, I think what she said is fair, and that's about it for my reaction. But I'm interested to know what you think. Why don't you let me know in the comment section below? As always, if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up on your way out, and be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to make sure you're notified of all of my videos. And if you would like to give me money, you can do so by donating to the channel at buymeacoffee.com. And I think I'm now going to record a reaction to that other video that had me in the thumbnail. That's so weird. That's so weird. Okay, cool. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.